Hello everyone, I am Rajat Kumar. I am the marketing head for Decoder, and we are having this session on resume building. We have Ayush Rampal with us, who will be explaining you what are the things that you need to take care of when you are building your resume, and what are the things that uh, you know companies are looking for, in your resume, and how you can get a job, how you can create a well defined and very effective resume to share it with your with any company. So I would request I would request Ayush to come and speak and tell everyone how they can create a very effective resume to get a job.
Thanks, Rajat. Hi, everyone. Just want to make sure you can hear me, right? Am I audible to
Yes,
everyone?
audible, 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 audible.
Yeah, audible.
All right. Thanks, everyone. So I've also shared
uh,
my screen. Can you see my resume? Uh,
yes, it's visible. I would request everyone to turn off your mic so that it's very so that it's easy for everyone to listen to Ayush.
yeah, and if anyone of you have any question, feel free to interrupt it between and ask me any question then and there only.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
guys.
You have the chat section, and if you have any question, you can just simply write it down in the chat section, and we'll take your questions from there. Great. I think we should start.
All right, guys. So I would first like to take you all through my resume. And the brief about me. So my name is Ayush. I'm currently working with Fractal Analytics as a data scientist, and I've been in industry for past 7 years around, and 3 years into Fractal. Education-wise, I've completed my master's into data analytics. Yeah. Okay. So, to begin with, so it's not the only template you need to follow, but there are some key things that you might want to take into account, and I will also tell you like what all things you should not put. So, when you take first glance at my resume, okay, so it's only a single pager. Even though I have like 7 years of experience, so you can see I can fit everything in single page. So when I see freshers or like college pass outs sending their resumes to companies, so I see like 2 or 3 pages of resumes. So one thing you want to be sure of, no one in any company has any time to go through like long pages and long paragraphs that you write. So everything needs to be crisp, it needs to be short and to the point. Okay, so on the top, you could write summary like myself or like any statement. In your statement, you can write what you are looking for, what your past experience is. And that should also match with your resume. It's not like you can write anything I can give you example also. Suppose you have written that in summary. So the below things and your skills should follow that
Ayush,
summary.
your voice was not there for a few seconds.
Okay, okay. So I was giving an example how you should not write your summary. Okay, so how you should write is what I have mentioned, but how you should not write is like suppose you are an AI enthusiast. Okay, you like working on like self-driving cars or any video or CNN technologies, like image technologies, data science related to images or data science related to any sequence models like that. So if you're writing that in summary, then your skills should also follow the same pattern. It's not like you can write any summary or like copy and paste what most people do. So I'm saying that any summary you write, it should be tailor made according to your profile. Okay, and it does not need to be perfect, like it does not need very highly vocabulary words. It needs to be just to the point, and it should be something that matches to the job description of what kind of job you're looking forward to. All right, now I'll come on to the second thing, that is education. So education, I've seen like most people what they do is they start like their education starting from like 10th, 12th, then bachelor's, then master's, and they fill in all the complementary certificates that they are doing, suppose from Udemy or anywhere. So that fills in and clutters your education. So education should be like first the order should be like what have you learned first, like masters comes it should be in hierarchical order of like descending order, you can say, of your studies. Okay, so the latest study you have done should come on the top, and it's not like you will write 10th first, then 12th, and then bachelor's, then masters. Okay, because like bachelor's or masters, that is your most relevant study, so that should come on the top. And then it should be like in which major you have completed it, and what if you want to write year, that's fine, and even if you don't, that's also okay. And one thing, like everyone tends to write their marks next to the education they have done, like 10th you got 75%, 12th you got 85%, like that. So I would suggest everyone, like people who have their scores say in 9 GPA or like 90 percentile and above, they can still write it. But like for the rest of the people who have got average marks or even above average like 85, 86, you don't need to really mention that. Okay, so you should only mention that if that's really outshining everyone else, because like otherwise if you're writing it, it's just taking up your space and like making your resume looking more cluttered. So that's something you'd also like to avoid. Okay, and do not write like if you have big college names, then don't write whole college name, whole university name. Just try to keep it short and like short and simple. Okay, like you see font also you can copy the same path, like education, the college name should be bigger, and then major could be in a smaller font like this. All right, and then you can have a location over here with the year. So there are different templates, you can follow any of them, but make sure like if you have done masters, you don't really need to write 10th or 12th. Even if you have not done masters and you have enough on your resume, you can just write your bachelor's, because like schooling, no one is really looking into that. Like because if you have done your bachelor's, it's obvious that you have done your school before that, so you don't need to like obviously mention that everywhere. All right, so like any questions till now have we received? All right. Okay, give me a minute. Let me have a look at the chat session. Okay. Uh, guys, can you hear me properly, or I need to go a bit more slower? Like I read a comment like to go slow. Okay, so one question is summary for freshers. Okay, so even freshers are doing like 4 years of college. Like if they are coming from bachelor's of technology, or if you are doing like BSc in maths, then also like 3 years you are spending. So some kind of projects you have been doing during your bachelor's, right? Like while being fresher also, there are some kind of projects that you must have taken during your semester breaks, or there are compulsory projects that you must have taken. So you can create your summary according to that. Like if you have worked on supervised learning, you can say like very enthusiastic to work on supervised learning kind of techniques, and that kind of summary you can write. All right. Okay. I'll try to speak a bit slow. Yeah, so I was explaining like summary for freshers. So summary, I'll brief it again. Okay, one question. What about summary for who has the experience from some other field? Okay, this is a good question. And I'm looking for a transition in data science. Okay, so you can highlight a part about the other job experience that you have. Like suppose you have been a team lead, or even an analyst into some other kind of technology. Okay, or suppose you are a Java developer, you want to come into data science, then you can mention about in your summary about the skills you have learned from that field. So Java developer is relatively kind of very much matchable, because you can write about data structures, But if you're coming from like a totally different field, like say oil and gas industry or a banking industry, then you have to like figure out some kind of relevance that you can put in. Like if you have learned a bit of management, that you can write like in summary you can write having managed many resources under me and have good leadership qualities or something like that. Or if you have been a good team member, that you can write, but don't overfill your summary with your previous work ex, because you are looking for a transition into data science. So that should be that should occupy more space in your summary as well instead of your past work experience. Okay, next question is it good to mention GitHub URLs? So I'll cover that a bit later. Yeah, so the people who are switching from non-technical field, same thing. So you want to switch, so you must have studied some courses or done some kind of projects, right? So write a sentence or two, a short sentence about your previous work ex, like you have been a good team member, you have been a good team lead, something like that. And then the next line should be what you want to transition into. Like you can write, coming with a rich experience of team management, I want to take up the role of a data scientist and manage people or something like that. Okay, my voice is breaking. Okay, thanks. All right, so I'll take the questions after 5 minutes, okay, because I have to cover the other parts of resume as well. So summary, like I see many people asking, like coming from non-technical background, coming from manufacturing background. So the short and simple answer is like, if you have learned something with the course, okay, and you have done some kind of projects, give that emphasis, like what you're looking to do in future, okay, and your past should be given less emphasis on that. Like I have been completely working on data science and analytics since last 4 years. So you see, like if I take you through my resume, okay, so if you look at this analyst part, okay, so it was not like totally data science, all right, it was like server management as well. So I've not written anything about it now, but earlier also, like I've just written because I use SQL to analyze skills, so I've written about that skill as my summary. All right, so experience, one thing again you need to remember, experience should also come like in descending order. Like this is my latest experience, and this is the previous firm, and this is my internship experience. So you can follow the same thing. If you are fresher, then I think experience, instead of experience, you can write projects you have done, okay? Projects you have done in the relevant field. Because if you read any of the lines highlighted, okay, so I'm not really giving any full picture about the project, because uh, if you see many people write like 2 3 pages of resumes, and below the project only, if you write everything, if you write about what feature engineering you have done or what kind of a problem, like everything in detail, then you won't have much left to speak in interview, okay. So it should be like interesting, like it should be eye-catching, like when someone reads pricing and promotion, okay. So they know what kind of project I've done, like finding out elasticity in pricing of particular product, and what kind of promotion could be implied to maximize sales and profits for the organization. And I've also written the model like using regression, or I've written technologies, okay, over here, like using PySpark I have mentioned over here, and this is a forecasting model, so I've mentioned that over here. So I'm giving a brief about my project, but I'm not really giving a complete picture. So if one needs to know more about my projects, they have to particularly ask about the project, okay. And one more important thing is, it's not like I've done only 9 or 10 projects, but I've written only those selective projects of which I have complete knowledge or I can completely recall. All right, and the project should be like it should not be very simple projects. Like many people are writing like Titanic data set they have worked on, for example, but that is like very common. So you have to do something that makes you a bit different, and the project should also be chosen like very wisely. By wisely, what I mean is that if you're doing, say you're doing four projects only, okay? So in your resume, it should not be like all the projects are of classification. If you understand, like in data science, there are supervised and unsupervised learning, then classification and regression. So different type of projects are there. So you should create your portfolio very diversely, like use different kind of skills, maybe use different languages. Like one project you can do on R, other you can do on Python, or even if you know only Python, that's fine. Just try to do different kind of projects, okay? Like one project can be classification. Uh, so three projects should be minimum, okay? One classification, one regression, and at least one recommender systems or any unsupervised learning. So that will create make your project's portfolio look good and also diverse. It should not be like you are only doing classification projects and you have written 10 projects over there. All right, let me have a look at the questions. Great. Okay, any suggestions from where we can pick such unique projects? Yeah, you can pick such unique projects from Kaggle. They are always available, and nowadays, like Analytics Vidya also make some competitions. So Kaggle, I think, is a good platform to get started. So even if you're a newbie, okay, you have only learned Python, you have not learned much of ML. So what happens is people do share their code notebooks, or you can look at the older projects and look at the winners, like winners of the Kaggle competition. When they share their notebooks, you can see what all this person has tried on. So maybe this thing works or this thing is the best. You will at least you will learn how to code the algorithms, and yeah, project portfolio will also become good. Okay, how to increase score in Kaggle? You need to learn data science properly for that. Like the answer would be big, but to keep it short, you need to know how to create good ensemble projects, like ensemble models, and you first need to learn how to analyze the model that you have built. Okay, suppose your model's accuracy is 90% and it's performing really well, but you want to see like the 10% where it is going wrong. So you want to find out which kind of feature your model is not able to catch. Only then you will be able to start scoring good over there. Okay, how to start? You can sign up over there. So they have like it's very easy how to start. So you just need to enroll in a competition. All right, no more questions I think over here. All right, just a minute. One more question added. Can we add projects like Route Planner, which is mostly based mostly on data structure algorithm? Yeah, obviously you can write it because data structure algorithm, guys, is it's a very important thing. Okay, like without it, you won't be able to code properly. So if you have done any good projects on data structure algorithm based, even if you're not using machine learning, you can obviously highlight that, and you can also mention in a brief like having explored like good techniques and have good command in DSA. So good command in DSA is very much needed in the company, and companies won't really shortlist anyone who is not able to code. Like however good you are in statistics or you're good in machine learning AI, but if you don't know how to code or data structure algorithm, you won't be able to make it in, because most of the companies have first round that is coding round and second round that is data structure algorithm. So it's important. You can obviously add that project. All right, so these are just few projects. So you see, like I've just written one-liners and like job recommenders of finding suitable jobs in which an employee might be interested in. So this is something that could be used in Naukri.com or some that kind of site. And then I've done like parking space predictor, all this. All right, and if you see the last one, it was a bit kind of an irrelevant project, so I have not highlighted much anything over here. All right. So this section is again, it is one of the most important sections, okay? Because companies need to know what all languages you have worked on. And to be honest, most companies are nowadays using kind of automated tools to shortlist your resume. Because if you think about company like Amazon, Walmart, or say even smaller companies like Musicma, Fractal, these scale of companies having like more than 1,000 employees. So they are also receiving around like 100, 200 resumes almost daily. So it's really impossible for HR to go through the resume and shortlist it. So what happens is whenever any job is uploaded, they have some kind of job description, and through that job description, they try to match in your resume, okay? And it's not like always the job description. They might have some skills that are required that are not shown to you. So it's not like you should just copy and paste everything from job description to your resume to get shortlisted. Like suppose if the job is for data scientist, okay, there might be keywords like SQL, machine learning, Python, all those keywords are mentioned in the background, using which any bot or any system can try to filter out the resumes. So their skills and tools come important. So first of them is languages. So languages to be like a good data scientist, Python is must needed. Like I don't think you can survive in market without Python. R is also good, but most companies are using Python as the main language. Even most clients are preferring Python because it's a scalable language, and most of the libraries are very rich in Python. All right, so try to keep at least two languages in your portfolio, okay? Like one is scripting language, another one can be totally OOPS based like C, C++, Java, like that. Or you can also keep just Python and R if you are like very much newbie into programming. Then distributed system, like I think freshers might have some difficulties adding this, but if you have like good command on Python and ML, so big data is something like next you should look up to, okay? So big data and deep learning are the next stages. And the basic steps are to acquire skills of Python and machine learning. Once you're done with this, you can parallelly explore big data, you can explore deep learning so that you get some more things to add to your resume, and it's always helpful because if you see big data is mostly required in most of the firms because the data is so huge that using a single system you cannot do all the processing or do all the computations. So that's why big data is mostly needed. But yeah, if you're a fresher, no one would be expecting much out of this from you. Then IDs are there, like different IDs you use, like Zeppelin, Eclipse, IntelliJ, Python, Jupyter, all that you can mention over here. Packages are important. You must know like what all good things are there in most packages. So scikit-learn, I think scikit-learn, NLTK are must have on your resume. And then Spacey is for like NLP task. You can Keras is for deep learning, OpenCV is for like computer vision tasks. So these are some things you might not want to write. Okay, so the things that you don't know, don't just copy and paste, because if you mention this and you don't know anything about it, then that's a negative. Most of the questions in your interviews will be asked from your resume, so you have to choose all the words in your resume very wisely. Okay, so TensorFlow is again like all this are deep learning libraries. Okay, so I've written like SQL and NoSQL databases because I've worked on HBase and Hive. So maybe if you're not worked on big data, you might not know how like NoSQL databases are. So you can mention just like MySQL or whatever you have used. If you have not worked on SQL, then just uh, just try to keep an eye, like make sure that the next thing you learn after Python and ML is SQL, or you can also learn it parallelly. Why it is needed? Because either data would be kept in a SQL database or a NoSQL database. Okay, so in big companies you won't find the database lying in CSV files. like you might find in your projects, in the college projects and all. So data is never on the CSV file, so it is either on SQL or NoSQL database. So that's why this is also must have on your resume. All right, so messaging service is something totally different, so I don't think you need to know right now. But just to give you a glimpse, like Kafka is a streaming service, so whenever you have to do any analytics on streaming data, like the data is coming in live, like if you see on Twitter and all, every second thousands or millions of tweets are uploaded. So if you want to analyze them, find out the sentiments like changing every minute, then you need to work on something like streaming data. But this is not like must have for you guys. All right, now I would also mention some quickly some don't haves. Okay, so if you don't have much space on your resume, don't waste a whole paragraph on your hobbies. No one is really reading that. Or if you think you can write on like doing Sudoku and solving puzzles, everything, so that is good to have, but only if you have like more space left. Don't just add another page to write your hobbies. Okay, and one thing you can skip is most people write reference like two friends and their phone numbers. So that is one thing you can avoid. Avoid using very much colorful fonts. Okay, so you see it's only black and red here for me. So don't use like very much colorful like red, green, blue, uh, like all those colors in one resume. Okay, try to keep it very simple. So those are some don't haves. And one major point is do not mention something that you don't know. Okay, so even if you're doing one project, if you're writing one project, you should have complete command on it, because if you do not have that, then you will definitely get stuck in the interview. All right, let me see. Yeah, so one someone has asked, can I mention Python ML? So yeah, you must mention that. If you're from designing background, then also like you can mention HTML, CSS, all of that, because that is also like kind of language only, PHP and all. Okay, someone has mentioned I know only Python, then mention only Python. Okay, so don't like waste time to learn one more language now. And skills like SAP and AutoCAD, CATIA. All right, you can write, you can mention them. Try to like mention only like very limited ones that are irrelevant. So because these count as irrelevant. Okay, and SAP you can write because SAP is a bit related. All right, photo on your resume is not necessary at all. So no one is like looking at your photos and shortlisting your resume. So you can skip that part. Okay, guys, quickly. So, in one more minute, if you have any other questions, because now your next session will start like at 9:30. Yeah. So again, coming back to GitHub profile. So if you have created any good profile, okay, on GitHub, la- by good profile, I mean if your projects are originally done and you have coded them yourself, then only you can write that. Otherwise, if you're simply copy pasting from someone else's GitHub account and like if you're just copy pasting your codes from outside, then try to avoid mentioning that. Okay, someone has asked, I have worked in different companies in manufacturing, but I guess companies don't have much interest in that as it is completely different work ethics. Yeah, so yeah, so this is again a good question. If you have like multiple manufacturing companies, then you can try to club them in. All right, like make another one tab of like manufacturing industry, and then you can mention your total work ex say like 2006 to 2011, and comma separated you can like write companies, but don't waste half the page of your resume mentioning manufacturing industry. Okay, guys, I think my time is up, so I'll pass it back to Rajat. Rajat, are you still there?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ayush. for sharing your valuable insights with us. It was really helpful, and I'm sure people are, you have added some really good value to all the students that we have in the Decoder. Now, I will be, we have prepared we have prepared a handout for all of you guys, which I will be taking you through, in a few minutes, which you can use as a summary, as a reference to make your resume. I will be sharing my screen now, and I will be explaining you how you can design your website. Sorry, how you can design your resume, and how you can basically, what tools you can use to design your resumes and stuff like that. Okay, so I am sharing my screen, and I'll take you through all of that. Okay, it will take just 5 minutes for me, because it's very simple to create and design your your resume now, because there are many softwares and tools available in the market. So let me know if you are able to see my screen. Great, great, great. So, okay, guys. So we will be using Canva for designing the website. Sorry, not like resume. Okay, we will be using Canva for designing the resume, and there are many. So what you need to do is, there are many templates available in Canva which you can use to design your resumes. Okay. Now, first of all, it's very simple. You can just simply go to Google and search for canva.com, and Google will automatically redirect you to this page. Before this page, you will have to sign up for your for your this account. You will have to create your account on Canva, and then you will be able to access all the templates that it has. Okay. Now, once you have created your account, once you have signed up with this with Canva, you will be able to see this whole screen. Okay. Once you are here, what you can simply do is, you can simply search over here resume. Okay. Once you search resume, it will suggest you many resumes, right? Resume, professional resume, photo resume, modern resume, acting resume. There are different type of resumes available in this, Canva. Now we are, looking for professional resumes, right? So we'll click on professional resume. Okay. Now it will give you, suggest you many, like hundreds of resume template, professional resume templates. You can go through and scroll your which looks good, really good. Some have the pictures, some don't have pictures, some are colorful, some are just standard resumes. You can select the really good one, which is really looking good. Okay. For example, if I go and select maybe this one, okay, it will redirect me to another page where I will be able to edit all of this. Okay. What I can simply do is, I can simply fill this, and I will be able to do it, edit it. Now I just have to click, I just have to double click on these text written over here, and I will be easily able to make some changes. For example, if I go and click on this this text, it will select it, and it will show me which font is used, what size font is used, and stuff like that, right? How you can change it, you can just simply double click on it, and you will be able to change the name. So for example, it's Rajat Kumar. Okay. And similarly, you can change the whole thing. Okay. The best part about this resume is, the best part about whole Canva resume templates are the all the sections are really well defined, and separated, so everyone can differentiate what this section is all about, what this section is all about, and stuff like that. And yeah, you can change it, right? You can just simply double click on it, and you can make changes. So for example, I can change to data scientist, and I can make some changes here as well. Okay. So this is very simple, and once you have done all the changes, you can simply click on download, and you can select the the format you want to export it in. So you can export it in PNG, JPG, PDF standard, and you can also export PDF print, you can use to print that resume also. Okay, and there are other options as well. So it's very easy. You just have to go to canva.com, create your account, search for templates and resumes, and you will be able to get so many designs here, and you will be able to make really make changes and create a really good resume which looks good, which looks really good. Okay, now I will take you through, I'll be checking some, if you have, is it free account? Yes, it is completely free account. You can just simply click on your, you can simply create your account and you can just access it. Okay, there are some things that are paid over here. For example, if I go to elements, and if, or maybe a photo, okay, some of the photos are paid and some of the photos are free. So for example, all of these pictures are free, but if I search specifically maybe related to data science, the chances are it would be paid, right? For example, it says pro over here and pro over here. So if I use this maybe somewhere in the in the uh, designing part, it will cost me. Okay, but the best part, you can what you can do is you can simply upload your photos. So maybe if you need you know a, a good image, you can simply go to Google, download it, upload it, and then you can use them. So you will not be you will not have to pay for that that image that you have used. Okay, so it's very simple, it's very easy to use. Just drag and drop things. So you can just simply click on here, or maybe if I go to photos, and if I want to change this photo, I can double click on it, I can change it, I can resize it. Okay, simply do it. And if I want to change the photo, I can simply drag and drop the photo over here, and I will be able to change, make some changes, and do it very easily. Okay, okay, so now we have created this handout for you, all of you, which is about how to build an effective resume to get a job. Okay, it has everything that you need to create impressive resume as a data scientist. It has everything that needs to be there in your resume. So, for example, the structure of resume, the the length of the resume, how how long your resume should be. It should be it should be not that long. It should be one pager, it should not be 3 pages, right? Then you should have differentiated areas so that people can easily easily understand that what area talks about what thing, what what areas you should have, what are the sections that you should have in your resumes, what are the things that you can what you can add, what are the things that you should not add. All of these are the everything is available in this handout. Okay, this handout will be shared with you in your Slack channel, so you will be able to download it easily from your Slack account, Slack. Here it talks about content as well, what type of content you should write, how to write content, what are the things that you should prioritize while writing. All the things it talks about, what are the things that you should mention in skill sections, what are the things you should focus on writing and whatnot. Okay, then how to create content, content crisp and clear, all the things, you have pointers over here, and you will be able to get everything. Okay, the best part over here is like the main part over here is to build your digital presence. Okay, we have talked a lot about this particular thing in this handout, because there are many people who don't really talk about their skills on social media. Because according to the research shows that 73% recruiters check the social media profiles of candidates, be it Facebook, Quora, LinkedIn, GitHub, Stack Overflow, etc. So make sure that you are creating your digital profile, and you are uploading your uploading your projects, uploading your all the things that you have done, and you are sharing about your experience, your projects, your achievements on your social media, so that if someone or some recruiter comes to your profile, your image is created as an expert, and the chances of your of you getting a job increases. Okay, we have also mentioned here how to portray yourself as an expert, as a data scientist online. So what are the things that you need to do to make sure that your presence, digital presence looks good, and what are the things that you should not do? Here we also have mentioned some checklist to build an impressive resume. So all the things that Ayush talked about, we have here in the complete handout. Okay, so make sure that you check it out and you use it as a reference point to create your resume. And yeah, that's it, right?